and life. Here is the Brother Leon Show. You better recognize.
What's going on, listeners? This is your boy, Brother Leon, and you are tuning into another episode of the Brother Leon Show. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the interview that we did with minister, playwright, deliverer Michelle Peebles. Today, I have a treat for you guys. We are going to be talking to Coach Dena, and she is the CEO, founder of Body By Dena. And what she does, man, she is like the ultimate coach, fitness coach. So guys, I'm telling you, she's a very spiritual woman. The one thing that I get from her is that she has the ability to coach people prophetically and to see their greatest potential. She has a heart of compassion and a heart and a love for God as well as people. So the one thing that we need in this hour, man, is that people are going to inspire us to work past our weaknesses, to help us get over humps in life. That is what is needed for this time. So we're going to talk about fitness. We're also going to talk about, her walk in God, her walk in faith, her journey. But we're also going to talk about how people need healing. Because I'm telling you, man, it's real out here. It's real out here when you look at coronavirus and look at the mental state of our nation right now. It's very real. So with that being said, guys, we are going to talk to Coach Dena.
Morning.
Hey, good morning, Coach. How you doing? This is Brother Leon.
Whoa, what up, Brother Leon? How's it going your way?
It's going pretty good. So what's the weather like in Florida?
Hot. It is hot, but it's nice. We actually got a nice little breeze this morning, so that's good.
Okay.
Really good.
All right, that's good. That's great. I was just telling the listeners, how you have a heart and a compassion for people, because I was telling them in the midst of coronavirus, it has done something to us, mentally and emotionally, and right now, we definitely need inspiration. We need, somebody that's going to help us get past and over the hump that we're in right now. So, so I was just telling the people that. But anyway, let's get started, Coach. So tell us, who are you? Where are you from? What's your background?
So everybody pretty much know me by Body By Dena, but my birth given name is actually Shadina.
Mm-hmm.
Born in Dublin, Georgia. Georgia's home. So I'm a Georgia peach.
Okay.
Been living in Florida now for over 10 years now. So I think I'm hitting year number 12 right now in Florida. So I've lived in Sarasota, and then from there I moved here to what we call a Space Coast. So I live in Melbourne, Florida right now. Former educator. I have 15 years in education. And I got to the point where, I really started digging deep as far as what it is I really was passionate about doing in life. And, of course, to have some fitness. So, spent some time just, in God's presence and just praying about, the desires of my heart and, and just knowing what it is that I really wanted to do, which is this. And took a leap of faith. That's what I call it. I didn't leap. I jumped, Brother Leon. I jumped and resigned from my job back in November of last year.
Wow.
And of course, in the school system, we get out for our break. So Christmas, right after Christmas break, I didn't return back in January and started doing this full time. I actually went back and worked on my certification, got certified as a personal trainer, got certified as a nutritional coach, and I'm still working on adding my certification. So at the end of the year, I have a master certification. But yeah, because I knew that's what I wanted to be doing. I've been doing it for consistently for 5 years. You know how we start stuff and we start and stop, and it was one of those things that I wanted to stick to doing. And so for the past 5 years, I've been pretty consistent with my health and fitness, and not just for myself, but helping other people. But just never advertise it as doing so, and then last year had the opportunity to work with a really good friend of mine, and I said, you know what, this is what I want to be doing. And like I said, just started seeking God for the opportunity. And I have to say, when you trust God and you are obedient to God, and you say, God, I'm available, use me as you see fit. Let me tell you, when I say these open doors, Brother Leon, I say I don't take this lightly as far as this Corona thing. But when I say it has worked in my favor, because I've been able to do those desires of my heart, just go with this thing full out. And I have to say my business has grown, it's multiplied since Corona started, and I give God praise for that. You know, like I said, I just being obedient to Him and allowing Him to use me. And I tell Him to use my platform. Use my platform for your glory. You know, everybody see Body By Dena Health and Fitness, but I also like to incorporate my faith, you know, incorporate the mental part of everything. Because, you know, when you talk about health and fitness, it encompasses everything, mind, body, and spirit. And I even tell my women that I work with, you know, we don't get your mind right, you get your body right. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
That's what I stand for. And actually my message on my email, it says Body By Dena, transforming lives from the inside out. And that's what it takes. It takes for us to start looking within before we can start working on the outside of us. Because you can go hard, as hard as you want to in the gym, but if you don't change your mindset, if you don't change what you're doing on the inside of you, it kind of defeats the purpose of everything you're doing inside that gym to try to work on that physique, you know? And sometimes we get caught up on an image on how we look on the outside, and we neglect what we need to take care on the inside. So that's what Body By Dena is all about, transforming lives from the inside out, working on that mind, working on that spirit, and then everything else will follow when it comes to trying to transform that body.
Wow. Thank you for that. So let me ask you this. When did you get born again? Because I'm serious. I'm hearing all types of faith talk and everything in your conversation. When did you get born again? When did you come to know God?
I have to say it's probably been 20 years now. As a matter of fact, I want to say it was between 1999 and 2000. I was born and raised in the church, singing in the choir. You know what I'm saying? Look,
yeah.
Going to church was a non-negotiable in my household. Let me just say that. My grandmother was my Sunday school teacher. Like, I'm gonna tell you, we would be in church, Brother Leon. We used about 3 churches on the Sunday, and we burnt down because we, like I said, my sisters and my cousins, we sing in the church choir. So we would go to different churches to sing, and people love to hear us sing. And so we would always get called to go to this church, and that church to go sing. And so born and raised in the church, but of course, you know, growing up and you go out on your own, you throw away, you know. And I'm honest about how I've walked away from God. I've even shared this before in my post, how I walked away from God, walked away from my faith, and just try to do things on my own. And every time I feel God tugging on me, like, come back home. I even call myself the prodigal daughter, you know what I'm saying? Because I know what it is to walk away, and then you missing out on something. You know exactly what it is. I was missing out on my walk, my relationship with God. But every time I walked away, He was always there. Like His word said, He would never leave me nor forsake me. He never left me. I may have walked away and left Him, but He never left me. He reminded me every single time. So this time around, Brother Leon, I said, we stand. I'm sticking with you, God, this time around. I'm not leaving you ever again. So I have to say that as far as me giving myself to God, back to God, was back around 20 years ago, but recommitted myself. That's actually been within the past couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Me recommitting my life to God and say, hey, God, I am here to do what you called me to do. I'm tired of trying to live life my way. I'm ready to live according to your word and your will and your way. And that's when I start seeing things that's happening in my life. You know, I tell people I don't use God as a genie in a bottle, but you know what? I do believe, you know what I'm saying, God will give you the desires of your heart when you just submit to Him. Submit to His will and just be obedient to Him and His word. And I've seen the transformation spiritually in my life ever since I decided to fully commit myself to God.
Wow, that's great. So let me ask you this: you it sounds like your grandma. It was almost like you grew up like a preacher's kid.
It was honestly, you would think that our household we were PK kids. I mean, like I said, and I have to say back then, the community that I grew up in, it was a community thing. You know what I'm saying? It was a church. Honestly, it was actually a church that was a walking distance from my house. You know what I'm saying? We can walk there because, you know, they called us there to sing. You know, so they had a service. You know, it was a community of faith back in those days where it didn't matter what your denomination was. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up AME. So it didn't matter if you were AME, if you were Baptist, Pentecostal, you know what I'm saying? Everybody would call us, would call my grandmama to say, hey, we were called the Bethel Angels back then. And so people would say, we want those Bethel Angels to come and sing for us. And I have to say, that was so foundational for me. Saturday mornings, we would go to my grandmother's house. My grandmother lived walking distance from my house. And we would walk to my grandmother's house on Saturday mornings, and we would do choir rehearsals there. I had a cousin that lived like right behind my grandmother. She was actually our voice coach, and you know she would come over. We would go over to their house, and the same thing. So I would say my family, my community, all of that was very instrumental in my faith. And like I said, even just growing up and just kind of going to college and becoming an adult, and things like that. Even when I took a step back, that was always in me. Once it's grounded in you, it's in you. Mm-hmm. So it is stuck with me no matter what, no matter trials and tribulations, no matter how many times I falter and waver my faith. It was always in me, and it sticks with me,
Wow.
So I'm thankful for my upbringing. I'm thankful that my mom said, you will be. You know what I'm saying? Those are three non-negotiables within my house. Going to church, going to school, and playing sports.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Because I grew up in a household like that. I'm not gonna lie. I hated the Holy Ghost, and the reason being is because I couldn't get away with nothing.
Yes. Yes.
I'm serious. I couldn't get away with Jack. I'm like, is somebody telling them? I'm like, seriously. I used to think, and I used to come home from school, and my mom was like, the Holy Ghost talk. I'm like, oh my God, if I hear this one more time.
Listen, Brother Leon, I can relate. I swear to you, I thought my mom had like a hidden camera on us, and every time we came home, she would tell us X, Y, and Z what we had done. I don't care if we were at the skating rink. We were, back in the days, going to the skating rink on Sunday. Look, I would go to the altar and pray on Sunday and say, Mama, let us go to the skating rink.
Oh my God.
Sundays, my mom would always go to the skating rink. By Monday, my mom would come with a full report. Everything I'd done at that skating rink. I'm like, how did you know this?
Exactly. Oh my God. And I would never, I would never bring no girl around my mom. Oh my God. I was like, no, she ain't gonna be reading this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of growing up in a household as such, because I'm saying, I said, even if you stray away from your faith, you gonna know Mama's gonna be praying on you, praying for you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And my mom, God knows I love her. When I say one of my most inspirational, motivational person and influential person in my life is my own mother, because I know no matter what, I don't care how old I get. I'm 44, and that woman prays for me like, like nothing else. And she tells me, I pray for you, I pray for your sisters, I pray for your brother, I pray for your cousin, I pray for my family. My mama is, when I say prayer warrior, yeah, that's my girl right there. So you know what? That's the thing. Like I so appreciate having my mom, my family, my grandmother. My grandmother passed away 2 years ago. But having that foundation, my aunt, just knowing that I was always surrounded by women of faith, really has helped me blossom to the woman I am today. Like I honestly thank God for every woman in my life that just prayed for me, prayed around me, prayed, just spoke the word of God into my life. And like I said, that really has helped me. And I think that's why I have such a strong passion for working with other women, because, you may have seen on my Insta feed that majority of who I train is all women.
Yeah.
And it's just such a calling that God put in my life to just gravitate towards women. And, more recently, probably in the past 2 months, I started doing this boot camp, and it's an all-women boot camp, and it's just women empowerment, and just a way of bringing women together to keep women uplifted. And I always say it doesn't matter what your fitness level is, just come, just have fun, and just the feedback I get from women. As a matter of fact, we have it on Saturday, so and just reflecting on yesterday. Every time there's somebody new, and I had probably at least 5 new people yesterday, and the women that just came to me after was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, I needed this, and I will tell them, like, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? This is how God created me to be, and I can say that when He spoke to me, and it's just. When I listen to God, when I'm really into my word and just sitting out in His presence, just taking heed to what He says to me, You know, it's like it's been months ago when he spoke this into me, and it's like women. You know, we need to be pulled together, and this was my mission. I was like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do. Body by Dena, and it's funny because I have guys who ask, "Well, what about the guys?" And I tell the guys, I don't mind training a guy one-on-one. I said, but my boot camp, I said, I'm sorry, my calling was bring women together for a time as this, to bring my sisters together, you know? Mm-hmm. So I thank God, and I think it has a lot to do with me growing up around a bunch of women of faith who has helped me to be, like I said, be where I'm at today and be able to bring women together, because that's how my family is.
Wow, that's great. And you know, the one thing that I'm gathering from this is that you have the ability to see the best, to see the greatest potential in your clients.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely. And my ladies would tell you, like, I mean, I bring things out of these women they don't see in themselves, and that's. And I always say I have a natural eye for things, but I also have a spiritual eye for things too. That spiritual discernment, because I always ask God, give me spiritual ears to hear, give me spiritual eyes to see. So I want to be able to use that gift God has given me to help other people to see things within themselves that they don't recognize, you know. Mm-hmm. And every woman that I work with would tell you, wow, I don't see that. She sees something in me, and funny thing is also, not just to work with my women, but like I said, being a former educator, seeing that in my students too. Because my background as an educator, I work with a lot of kids with special needs. That's my background. I work with kids with behavior disorders. My specialty area is behavior disorders, behavior modification. So I work with a lot of kids who people would label as troubled kids, that bad kid, the behavior kids. And I will always say, whenever I got a new class, I would say, don't tell me about so-and-so. Let me figure out so-and-so for myself, you know? Mm-hmm. And so when the kids would start my classroom and I would start pinpointing some positive things within them, they'd be like, well, so-and-so said this about me. I said, we're going to change that, baby. We're going to change it, because unfortunately, when we speak things into kids, and people got to realize this too, when you speak things into kids hold on to them. And they think it's the end-all, be-all for them. And so, you know, I thank God for the gift He's given me of encouragement to encourage others to see the good within themselves and pull out the positive. Because oftentimes we are spoken so much negativity into us, and that's what we hold on to, you know. And even from a young age, people hold on to stuff into adulthood because these are things that were spoken to their lives, especially if it was spoken by somebody important to them. They're going to hold on to that. So, I mean, even working with mature women, I'm having to speak some positive encouragement into them because of things that were spoken to their lives at a young age. So, once again, I thank God that He has given me that ability to do so. And honestly, I've been through things myself, Brother Leon. I've been through things where people have spoken negative things to me. But you know what? It's all about me having to work on myself to say, hey, that's not who I am. I know whose I am and who I am, to be able to turn that negative comment into something positive.
Yes.
I always say it was my pain of what I went through in a relationship that helped me lead through my purpose. So the kind of way I got into doing the health and fitness thing, where I came more consistent with it, started, like I said, about 5 years ago, when I was going through some situation in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And it was a toxic relationship, you know, a lot of verbal, you know, abuse stuff going on. And, you know, people know me, I'm pretty strong, but, you know, sometimes even the strongest person falls to their weakest moment. Yeah. And oftentimes I will fall to my weakest moment where I either retaliate by saying something I shouldn't say, or I let that impact me, where I let that distill into my mind. And I tell you, I started running. I was working with a group, a coach who prepares people for doing half marathon. I set out to do a half marathon for my 40th birthday. Mm-hmm. And of course, I started my training back, you know, months prior to. I started doing 5Ks, and you know, I would train myself, building up on my endurance when it came to running, because I'm a sprinter, so long distance was never my thing. So I started preparing myself like the summer prior to my birthday, and I have to say, running really was just something that helped transform my mind and helped me to just clear my mind and just kind of erase some of that negative stuff that was spoken into me, and it also helped me to center myself more with God. Like I would be outside running, and I'm an outdoor runner. I'm not like the treadmill run. I love to run outdoors because I felt like I got that mental clarity, and I felt like I could hear from God clearly when I'm outside running. And that really pretty much started more of my mental and my physical transformation and spiritual transformation at that point. Because I realized then, Brother Leon, there was more. God had so much more for my life, and it was more than what somebody had spoke to me. It was more than what I was doing at that time as well. And so it has been a building block ever since then that has led me to where I'm at right now. And I just keep saying, the best is yet to come. I feel like God has so much more for me that this is right now. It's just one of those, wow, God has blown my mind moments. But I know so much more is to come from what God is doing in my life. And I just thank him every single day for where he has brought me from. All the time I said, we all have a story, and we see people on social media. We may see their physical transformation, but people don't see the mental and spiritual transformation that somebody has gone through. And when I say God has done a work in and through me, he's worked in and through me for a mighty long time.
Oh yeah. So let me ask you this. So during the midst of you coming out of that toxic relationship, God began to birth on the inside of you what you're doing right now.
Yes, he did. I felt like the steps to that had a lot to do with what I was going through, because at that time I was like, there's a better way to deal with my anger and from that situation, for me not to retaliate, not to fight fire for fire. You shoot off some bad words at me, I'm going to shoot back at you. I'm like, that's not how you do things. I'm like, here I am at the time, I'm an educator. I'm like, you teach your kids, how to deal with conflict. So you got to practice what you preach, right?
Yeah.
So you know what? Like I said, I started running, and I told you, it made a huge difference. Like I said, I was able to remove those, I call it distractions of what somebody was saying, distractions of my relationship at that time. I was able to remove some of that negativity and then turn it to something positive. And even when I was going through something, I have to tell you, when my grandmother passed, that really hit home with me. Because my grandma, she's a pillar of the family. So when she passed away, January of 2018, even then, just finding peace and comfort when I would be outside and running. Like I felt God's presence around me, and just knowing that in the midst of just going through something that was really hit home to me, whether it was the relationship thing I was going through or going through a loss of a loved one. Because I said loss is loss. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a loss of a relationship, loss of a loved one, it's tough. So going through a lot of that really helped build me up. You know what I'm saying? As far as my passion and my love for what I do, because I found so much purpose in when I was outside running, when I was outside, or when I started to get into bodybuilding. I found so much purpose in what I was doing, and like I said, it even translates over into other areas of my life. Kind of jump ahead when I kind of transitioned out of running so much. I actually did my first half marathon in 2016. Like I said, that was for my 40th birthday. Transition out of that. A couple of years later, got into bodybuilding, and I have to tell you, I feel like then that amplified my love, my spirituality, and in my mentality, because that took me to a level of discipline. I felt like I was disciplined when I was doing the running and all of that, but when I got into bodybuilding, let me tell you, that you talk about a transformation right there. That just heightened my spirituality right there. I felt like I came more spiritually awakened, more aware within myself at that moment. Bodybuilding, it does something. It requires you, first of all, to be very disciplined. So I did. I actually became a lot different, because you have to be so regimented when it comes to your nutrition, when it comes to your workout, and it was a different way of me having to train myself than just trying to stay healthy and fit. So it not only helped me train myself physically, but train my mind also.
Yeah.
And like I said, once again, my spiritual awareness just heightened. So I just feel like with every time I take something to the next level, I feel like I began to grow. Not only just that physical growth, but that mental and that spiritual growth also. So like I said, I said my pain helped me to discover my passion, my purpose. At first it just started out with just me wanting to do something, just kind of an escape. Running became an escape for me. So I was like, okay, at this point in time, I got to start running away from things and figure out how to deal with it, and not use running as an escape method, So like I said, so when I kind of transferred that over to doing something else where I couldn't run away from my problems. Bodybuilding, I realized, you know what I'm saying, that I was able to take anything that was going through the moment and just put all that energy into me, pounding those weights, you know what I'm saying, at the gym. And I tell you, when I would leave the gym, things just became so clear to me. Sometimes I'll be in the middle of a set and something would come to my mind. I'm like, wow. So I start to see how all that started to come together. The physicality of being able to, whether I was running or whether I was lifting weight, all that comes full circle when it comes to a total well-being and total transformation, mind, body, and spirit. Like I said, which is why Body by Dena. That's exactly what I stand for. It's not just a physical transformation. When you work with me, I want you to feel a total transformation, mind, body, and spirit.
Wow. So I mean, it's like you done went through like the running, the bodybuilding. Let me ask you this, because I talked to a bodybuilder. He was like, man, I was drinking 2 gallons of water a day. 2 gallons of water. I was like, man, I can't even perceive that. I'm like, how do you have time to lift weights? It just seems to me you'll be living it.
That's all part of that discipline.
Yeah. No, because I'm like, you're going to be living in the bathroom.
Believe me, hey, the good thing about when I was working in the school system, my office was right across from the restroom. I honestly, for me, it was my training. Everybody's different, and for guys, because their body is built different than us. But for me, a gallon a day is pretty much what I drink.
Mm-hmm.
So, a gallon a day, eating about 6 meals, and even at work, so my position when I was in the school system, I was a school counselor, but I pretty much did so much more.
Mm-hmm.
I would have meetings all the time, and I would look, my alarm, I have alarm set for everything, Brother Leon. So my alarm goes for me to eat. I'm like, sorry guys, I gotta eat. I'm on a schedule. So I mean, even things like that, it's like I said, it's all part of your discipline.
Yeah.
People say, well, how do you find time to do X, Y, and Z? I tell you, I have 3 devices. I have a cell phone and 2 iPads. Let me tell you, they're all filled with my to-do list. What you got going on? What you need to do? Because that's what I mean. We have our technology attached to us 24/7. So I would have alarms that will go off. I have an app that will remind me when to drink water, and I have my alarms that will go off and remind me when I needed to eat. Like I said, once again, you have to find things that will work for you, and those are the things that work for me. And till this day, and right now, I call the off season where I'm not training right now for competition, but I still live by my same method of things that I've done before. I say if it ain't broke, you know what I'm saying? Why try to fix it?
Yeah.
I stick with what I know works for me, and I still have that same setup in my phone now, because now that I'm training full time, I have about 25 sessions a week right now. So we're running about 5 sessions a day. So even just going from one client to the next, you know what I'm saying? All my alarms are in my phone to remind me, you know what I'm saying? You need to leave this certain time to go to so-and-so. So you kind of learn to do things, little tricks like that on how to help you to stay disciplined, how to be consistent, and how to, when you start to commit to doing something, like this is your follow through right here.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to figure out what works for you, because I tell people what works for me might not work for you. You may not be in a situation where you can stop what you're doing and eat on the job. Look, I'm telling you, I did it. I made it work for me, even if it was just chugging one of my smoothies, you know what I'm saying, throughout the day. Manipulating my meals where I had to reverse my meals where I ate, if I had sweet potatoes and veggie burgers and one meal, but I couldn't eat it right then and there, I'll switch and I'll chug my smoothie and have that meal, later. So there's things you figure out along this journey. Like I said, it's not a one-size-fits-all for everybody.
Yeah. So Coach, let me ask you this. How can women heal? How can they use exercise to heal from certain emotional issues? Because a lot of times when you look at trauma, when you look at abuse, sometimes it has the tendency to take your power away.
Yes.
So can you explain on that?
So everybody, like I say, everybody's situation is different. And seriously, what worked for me as far as me healing from the inside out. I have this method of saying, healthy self means, if you break it down, it says kill thyself. It starts first with the mind, Brother Leon. Before you can actually, whether you want to pick up a weight for the first time, you got to really focus on transforming that mind. Because unfortunately, for a lot of women who've gone through abuse, it's a mental thing at this point. You know what I'm saying? So they may hear words of discouragement or some negative words that was spoken to them, and would stick with them. So what I tell a lot of women, first of all, being a woman of faith, you got to get into that word. You got to speak life into yourself. What I used to do, I'm telling you what I used to do. I will write down scriptures on a post-it note. I will write down positive affirmations, Brother Leon. I will put them on my mirror in my bathroom. So that's one way that helped me, where I would start seeing things, because we're visual beings. So starting to see things, start seeing words that speak life into me. Really helped me, because once again, that helped transform my mind first and foremost. And then, like I said, the physical part of it just kind of goes hand in hand. So once you actually start getting to the fitness part of it, you get those endorphins that start to kick in, and they really start to work with, okay, now she's starting to do something else. Now she worked on her mind, so now we're going to throw this body part into it. So now you get that mind and that body connection where they start speaking to each other. And let me tell you, when you talk about a good combination for healing, that besides just, if you throw that spirituality in there, let me tell you, that's the best dose you can have, right? The better than going to any therapist. Now, I'm not gonna knock any therapist. I'm a counselor, so I'm not gonna knock therapy. But when you start to work on yourself outside of eating this help you can get, those three right there, the best combination you can get as far as helping you to heal from any situation you're going through. Mm-hmm. Starting with that, first of all, spirituality. You got to get in that word. Speak that word of God. You know what I'm saying? Find scriptures that speak to you. Write those down. Put them on a post-it note. As a matter of fact, my bathroom mirror right now has some words of encouragement on it. You know what I'm saying? Even though I've come out of that season of being really hurt and bitter, but you always can have something to speak life into you. So I have things, like I said, the post-it notes. I have words of messages on my mirror that I see every morning that speaks life to me. I find scriptures. I start my day, and I'm going to say this. Before I even train, my first training session started at 5 o'clock, Brother Leon. Mm-hmm. So 5 o'clock, that's 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm up at 4. And people ask me why I get up so early. Because you know what? I get into my word first and foremost. Before I touch anything, before I get on Zoom with anybody, before I go to the gym or with anybody, whatever, before I even touch or wake myself, I got to get into that word. I need God to speak to me first. You know what I'm saying? I got to silence myself and get my mind right before I even start my day. Yeah. So when it comes to trying to heal, that was my method right there. Get into that word and find it, even if it was a scripture. I may focus on that scripture for a whole month, or I may focus on that scripture for a whole year. I will find other words that speak to me, and I will write those down. And that would kind of speak, like I said, those words, those positive affirmations really help me, because the more you speak life back into yourself, you start to transform your mind. You know what I'm saying? The word even tells us, be ye transformed. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So we have to find things that's going to help us to reprogram what somebody has done to us, and that's exactly what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? I dealt with the verbal abuse. I dealt with the name calling. You know what I'm saying? Being called everything out of my name. So how do I turn that around? I have to find, what does God say about me in His word? You know what I'm saying? Yes. I am a child of the Most High. I know whose I am. So you know what I'm saying? So I had to find words. You know, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I had to find scriptures that spoke life into me. And even my devotion, like I find devotions on my Bible app that I need in that moment, in that season, and that's how I get my day started. Like I said, once that starts to get into me, it gets to my spirit, it gets to my mind. You can do anything physically at that point. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. That mind, body, spirit connection, all that is so important. Yeah. I'm serious. I'm serious. I have seen women take a sledgehammer to a tire, and I'm like, whoa, she got something in that. She getting her breakthrough. I'm serious. I mean, she's swinging. I'm like, You know, if it ain't that, it's the ropes. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, man, I'm serious. You know what? when I'm training my women, I even tell them, like, if you have one of the rough days at work and we're doing some ball slam, you think about that ball as being something you've dealt with. You slam it as hard as you can, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes we do that. It's better. And I used to say this, it's better to take your frustration out on the opposite than it is on a person.
Exactly.
So even when I've had one of those rough days at work, you know what I'm saying? I got a punching bag. So if I had a punching bag, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's better than taking my frustration out on the object, like I say, or you know, hitting those weights, you know what I'm saying? Or even or time the pavement, you know, when I'm outside running. So let me tell you, those things have really helped me. And once Brother Leon, I'm just tell you, once I'm done, once I'm finished working out, or once I'm finished with that run, I'll be honest with you, I forget all about what I was upset about. It's as if it just erased it. It reset my mind.
Yeah.
It helped me just free myself from whatever that situation is. But I'm going to also say it's not running away from the situation. It has taught me how to do a situation better. You know what I'm saying? So because we so quick, we so quick when somebody throws something at us and land us, we want to go back. You know, go back and forth with. I'm like, no, that's not how you do it. People say things about Jesus, you know what I'm saying? So who you think you are? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I had to have that mindset. Like you ain't no different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jesus is better than you, but he dealt with it differently. So how you gonna deal with this situation? You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna fight fire with fire. You don't do that. That's not who you are in God. That's not what God wants you to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, so what can you do in this moment? You mad? I'm gonna get mad. You know what I'm saying? You have the right to be mad, but what you gonna do with that anger?
Yeah.
Don't take it out on somebody else. Take it out on those weights. Take it out on that bag out there. Take it out on that pavement.
Yeah.
It can't hurt you. You know
Exactly.
It can't hurt you. So I have to tell you, it really has helped me overall these past few years. And did I get here overnight? No, sir, I did not. It was a process, and it's always going to be a process, you know? I can always find room for improvement for anything in life. But let me tell you, I'm so much better than I was just a year ago.
Okay.
So much better. So much better than I was 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So every year, you know, I feel like it's a growth. And I honestly say 2020 was my rebirth. The funny thing is my birthday was actually on Easter Sunday this year. So when I say the Resurrection Sunday, God resurrected things in my life, and things really started to unfold in my life. I considered last year as I started my transformation. I said that started my year, my rebirth, but this was my rebirth right here. God did. So when the scripture says exceedingly and abundantly and above, oh, He did, and then some. He has really just taken. You know, since things I've gone through in life, and it helped me to sit back, because I love to evaluate. It helped me to sit back and evaluate and see where He has brought me from, and see how I've handled situations differently. You know, I know you sent me a text about the message that I posted back in June when we were kind of in the height of so much going on in our society. And so for me, I had to take a step back because you know I'm one of those. I'm emotionally driven by things that happen to other people, and so I had to learn how to take a step back and not allow things like things that happen in society, things that happen to other people, how to not let it affect me. So sometimes I detach, Brother Leon. So even it means detaching from social media. I mean, I don't watch the news. I personally don't watch the news for that reason.
Yeah.
So I've learned to take a step back and to self-evaluate when something is triggering me. What triggered me? And that means I sit in silence. I turn off. I remove myself from social media. I turn off all my notifications from my phone. As a matter of fact, I did this last Sunday, and it wasn't that I was triggered by anything. It was because I knew I needed to reset. Because when you really spend time with yourself, this is also important too when it comes to healing. Spending time with yourself. And we're so quick to want to be in groups, want to be with people. We want other people to speak into us on how to deal with situations. Sometimes we get misinformed by other people. So for me, the best thing was for me to sit in silence with myself and sit in God's presence. So, you know, those are things I've learned to do in these past few years. And so even when it comes to being physically burnt out, like I told you, you know, I'm training full time, and so sometimes by the time I hit Saturday, I'm burnt out because, you know, now I'm training Monday through Friday, and I'm doing my boot camps on Saturday. So Sundays, I'm like, "Ooh, Lord Jesus, I need to regroup." So
Yeah.
that was me last week. And so what I do when I call it my day of reset, to recharge and to recover, I actually sometimes I go to the beach. I call the beach my place of restoration. And I turn off my notifications on my phone. Like I don't want to get any messages at that point because this is my time. This is my time for me to regroup and to recenter myself and to reconnect. So and so things like that has helped me along my journey of recognizing, because I spent time with myself to know when I need to reset. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we go, and we burn out. So me spending time with myself, realizing, okay, all right, you're getting that point, you need to stop and slow down. You need to reset and recenter yourself because you're about to hit that point of burnout. You know, I always say, you can't pour from an empty cup. We can't. So that's in anything in life, whether you're in health and fitness, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're working full-time, whether you're a full-time stay-at-home mom. You got to figure out when it's time for you to reset yourself so you can pour yourself into others. And being that I work with so many people, like I have to pour back into myself if I can give to them.
Yeah.
And so all that has come along with this process, my healing process of recognizing, because you know when we go through situations, we want to be around people because we feel like we get answers from people. Being around people is another way we use to kind of what's the word I want to say? We use that as a distraction, you know what I'm saying? Because I've done this before. I can speak on behalf of myself. Being around other people helped me to kind of realize, okay, what's going on in my life is not really going on because around other people, so they kind of drown out the noise of everything that I've dealt with. But once you go back into that situation, guess what? It's still there. It's not gone, you know? So really, you know, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being around people. I have friends. I have some amazing friends. But you gotta figure out how to work on yourself by yourself, for yourself. And that's something that's something that I really had to work on over the years. Like I said, I had this I used to have it on my iPad. It was my screensaver, and it would say healthy self, and it would break it down, split it up, and say heal thyself. And that spoke to me because the word self in that spoke to me that I needed to work on healing myself. And those are just some of the things that I had to do to get to that point. Number one, like I said, spending time with God, spending time with myself, and silencing myself, and finding some positive affirmation, finding scripture, finding things that speaks life into me. Yeah. And then, like I said, all that transferred over to everything else in my life, Brother Leon.
Wow, that is amazing. So let me ask you this: what are your prayers? What are some of your meditations? Because, you know, I'm hearing that, you know, and everything that you say with your transparency and everything. So yeah, just, you know, take your time, run us through, you know, what are some of the prayers and things that you pray? What are some of the meditations and your, you know, your favorite scripture? You know, what's one of your favorite scriptures that have taken you through your journeys?
I have to say Psalm 23.
Okay.
Psalm 23 is definitely one of my main go-tos as far as prayer, and even sometimes in the midst of not knowing what to pray for, Psalm 23 you can always go there. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. You know, and knowing that He restores my soul. Yeah. You know, even last week, like I said, when I had my time of meditation, and I said to the Lord, "You restore my soul." And so Psalm 23 is always my go-to. And it depends on, you know, and also depends on what's going on. So also going back to that video I did, 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people are called by my name, you know, in a time like such as this really has been my prayer for us as a nation. Yes. That if we would just humble ourselves and pray and seek God's face, and just hear from Him and turn from our wicked ways, and He can restore this land. So once again, restoration, being restored. Those are the scriptures that talk about that. You know, those are my go-to. I can do all things through Christ. Let me tell you, when I'm working out, I train myself. So I don't have a trainer when I'm at the gym, or if I'm at my house working out. Right now, I'm not training at the gym because, you know, COVID. I'm trying to keep myself safe and my people safe. So when I train myself, because, you know, especially when I'm lifting heavy, or even I'm out there running, you know what I quote? I can do all things through Christ.
Yeah.
I can do all things through Christ, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So even in the midst of working out, I will pull up from the scripture, you know? Great is he that's in you, you know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
speak those words, and I change it.
Mm-hmm.
I would change it up so it speaks to me, you know what I'm saying? Great is he that's in you, because I'm speaking to myself at that point, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I would change that pronoun so that pronoun speaks to me at that moment.
Yes.
I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous is his work, you know? Especially for somebody who's going through something, who's been told that they're not something, or you know, or you're this and you're that. You know what? We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous.
Yes.
God
Yes.
will make mistakes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? God will make mistakes. And so
Yes.
oftentimes we hear things, you know, people get called outside their name. Guess what? That's a good go-to right there.
Mm-hmm.
So like I say, it often depends on where I'm at in the moment, but always Psalms 23.
Yeah. Psalms 23. Psalms 23.
4:13.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Chronicles 7:14.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my go-to, and like I said, whatever I'm going through in life, like I will, and I'll oftentimes what I do is I save those particular scriptures as my screensaver. So no matter where I'm at, I have that, so I can always look at it. So as soon as I'm logging on to my phone, putting that password, guess what? That scripture's gonna pop up. It's gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say all my devices, like I said, I bought it from 3 devices because I do so much. They all have a scripture on it because I want God's word to always be in me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I always want to have that to help guide me throughout the day. Also, daily devotions. I actually every morning, on my Bible app, I find a devotion, maybe 2 or 3 devotions that speaks to me,
mm-hmm.
and that's what I use those to meditate on. I find points, reference that I can use, something that speaks to me. So, as a matter of fact, I started a new one today. As a matter of fact, it's one called Restoration. It's by Lecrae, the artist Lecrae.
Yeah.
And I actually started today because sometimes I would choose a Bible plan.
Mm-hmm.
And that would go for a month. I found one to go for a couple of days. Like I said, whatever it is, I wanted to speak to me in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I started one today. It's called Restoration. It's by Lecrae. It's a 2-week Bible plan. And then there's another one that I started. It's called Do Something Beautiful, and that one is a 5-day devotional plan. So I always find something that speaks life to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to help me in my spiritual growth and development. And like I said, my scriptures are always just something, my point of reference, no matter where I'm at throughout the day. I have the word of God with me no matter what.
Wow, that's great. So Coach, let me ask you this. What is your approach to training? I mean, are you like hands-on, or are you just, one of the types that's like... Oh.
I'm so hands-on.
Okay.
My girls will tell you, I am so hands-on, and that's just who I am. And even my online people, let me tell you, even my online people don't get a cookie-cutter type of workout plan. They get me. Mm-hmm. I actually do a video of me doing a workout because my online people, they're in different states. Mm-hmm. So I want them to see me as if they were right here alongside of me. So they actually get to see a video of me doing whatever workout they're going to do. They also get that encouragement, the same encouragement I give to my people that I'm here doing one-on-ones with. Mm-hmm. So I am so hands-on. I want to be there to support my women. There's some of my women I actually do the workout with so they don't feel like they're doing it by themselves. Oftentimes, I'm there to support as being their spotter, just to guide them through and always making sure form is so important to me. Mm-hmm. So making sure their form is accurate. But I am such a hands-on person. That's just who I am by nature, but mm-hmm. definitely as a trainer and now, as a coach, I am so hands-on. My women get they get weekly check-ins from me, whether they're local, whether they're my online. They get weekly check-ins from me. Sometimes every other day. I mean, I'm so involved with my women. My women know they can call, if they got a situation, they're gonna know I'm gonna pray for them. Mm-hmm. my women know my faith. I'll even have a couple of women that will say, "Hey, pray for me. I got this situation going on." If I can stop what I'm doing, pray for them in a moment. Guess what? I'm gonna do that. Mm-hmm. That's just who I am. I'm not the typical trainer.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not the typical trainer. My women get everything from me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're gonna get a prayer warrior. They're gonna get a trainer. They're gonna get a coach. They're gonna get a mentor. They're gonna get a cheerleader. They're gonna get, you know what I'm saying? So I want to be more than just Body by Dena, a personal trainer, nutrition coach. Because I am so much more, and so my women get that, and then some for me. I am their motivator. I am their encourager. Like I said, I'm their prayer warrior. So I am their coach. I am their trainer. Of course, going through your studies or going through a program, this go against anything you will learn. But guess what? Sometimes you gotta throw the book out the window. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and do what you know what to do, and do what you know what's best for your people in that moment. And I've even stopped a couple of women before we even started the set. I always say, get your mind right before we get started. Like I'm gonna be direct with you, and if I can see. Like I said, God has given that spiritual wisdom and discernment and understanding to know people and to see when something's not right. If I see something ain't right with you, we're going to get that mind right before we even get started. Because guess what? You can go in there and live that way all you want to, but you know what? If your mind ain't right, we defeat the purpose of trying to get there. We need to build you up physically if we haven't built your mind up.
Yeah.
So I stopped with before we even started this set. Said, hey, let's get this mind right first. All right, now you're ready. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I'm so involved with my women. I love that my women trust me. I love that my women love that I'm a woman of faith. And I call my women my warrior wonder women, because I think there's a warrior in all of us.
Yes.
There's a warrior in all of us, and I want women to see that. You have something inside of you, and as we said before, I want to be that person to pull it out of you. You know, you may have been married for 15 years. Your husband and I have never told you this, but I'm going to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And it's without fail, Brother Leon, every woman I've worked with, I've been able to pull something out of them that they didn't see within themselves. Because it's hard. It's hard for us to look in the mirror. And that's happened to me. I can post a picture, and somebody said, oh, wow, look at your so-and-so. I'm like, wow, I didn't even see that myself. Sometimes it takes that. It takes somebody else to pull something out of us that we don't see within ourselves. And I thank God for the people in my life. I have a coach. You know, even though I'm a coach and trainer, I have an amazing coach. So my coach has helped me see things in me, and I just want to do the same thing with other people. Let them see you have something inside of you. Let's pull that out. And every woman I work with, you know what I'm saying, the training methodology method, my approach may be different, because, you know, I know what this person needs. It may be different than what this other person needs. So, you know what I'm saying, everybody is an individual when it comes to my training.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do what's best for you and what you need. Not because I'm doing this for so and so and so. It's about you. We are individuals, and that's why I don't believe in cookie cutter type of programs.
Yeah.
And nothing against, you know, somebody if you know, online training, people who do online programs, and they have a one time, you pay a one-time fee for this program, you do this. That's fine and well. I've been one of those DVD workers, you know, popping the DVD, I've done that workout. Everybody can do it. But like I said, when it comes to my people, my women, individuality is what I'm all about. I'm going to give you what you need. So that's just who I am, brother.
Wow. Let me ask you this, because you just said you help women to see the warrior in themselves, and you call your women your warrior women. How can women begin to see the beauty in themselves when they start taking that fitness journey?
Women, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go back to what I said before. Look in you got to look, and it's speaking life into yourself. Look at that person in the mirror, okay? And you got to find that word of encouragement. You got to look in yourself in the mirror and speak those words to you. That's why I have words written on my mirror, Brother Leon. Because guess what? You're looking back at yourself at that point. You know what I'm saying? That's a reflection of you. So anytime you speaking something into you, you got to look at yourself and say those things to you, because guess what? It's more believable when you start speaking it to yourself and looking at yourself while you're saying it. Yes. It's different. It's different when somebody else is saying it to you.
Yes.
There's a couple women I actually train inside of a gym. I make them look in the mirror while they're working out. You know what I'm saying? Because I want them to see a reflection of who they are and what they can do and their abilities. You know. So even women who are at home, just taking a mirror and looking at yourself, it's not vain. That's you speaking life into yourself. You need to see what God has put inside of you. You need to see that God made you physically one of His name. You need to know that you are a child of the Most High, that you are royalty. We've been born to a royal priesthood. Women need to see the beauty that lies within themselves.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I always say God turns, you know what I'm saying? He turns our ashes into beauty. And the thing about it is we need to see that. You know what I'm saying? We all have gone through being burnt when we've had ashes. Now let God turn it into something beautiful. You know, and you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am. Those two words right there are the most powerful words you can say.
Exactly.
I am wonderfully made. I am beautiful.
Yes.
You know, and those are the things that women got to start doing for themselves. Because unfortunately, sometimes, Brother Leon, we wait for somebody else to say it for us. We'll be waiting all day long for somebody to confirm.
Yes. So hey, Coach, Coach, let me ask you this. And I just want to get your opinion on it. Because sometimes I tell women, I'm like, sometimes you have to affirm and give yourself closure because if you are looking for a man to give you closure, it may not be what you want. It may not be what you expected. And sometimes you may not get it. But the one thing I love about God is that, with him, all the promises are yes and amen. And it doesn't matter what people say or what people don't say. Because sometimes we look for the I'm sorry's, we look for the closure, we look for the affirmation, we look for the validation. But if you would just give yourself that and give yourself forgiveness, then you will cut yourself loose from the past and negativity and other people.
You better say that. That's it.
So, I just want to get your opinion on that. What you think? Because a lot of women are looking for affirmation and confirmation from men, and I'm like, you don't need that. You confirm yourself.
You better say that, and that's what's true. You know what? I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of wanting my significant other to confirm. You know what I'm saying? To affirm. To what I see in me, and when they didn't get there, or to say, good morning, beautiful, or you look nice today. And when you don't get that, it hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt.
Yeah.
You gotta get to the point where stop waiting for somebody to say something to you. Say it to yourself. And now, look, ain't no shame like that. I'm looking at me like, dang girl, you look good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to get to the point where you realize it is not being conceited. It's all about self-love. You gotta love yourself enough to say, hey, I'm not waiting for someone to say I look good, or or somebody to speak something into me. I gotta speak that into myself. So, Brother Leon, and I'm single. You know what I'm saying? I've been single now for 3 years, and I thank God for that, because you know what? That has helped me. These past 3 years of my singlehood has helped me get to that point where I'm not waiting for somebody to say, girl, you look good today, or you are beautiful. Wow, your physique looks nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I speak those things to myself every single day. As a matter of fact, even when I finish a workout, because like I said, I train myself, I'm like, dang, girl, you just did that. You did that. Be proud of yourself.
Yes.
I'm like, girl, you just crushed your own workout. Dang.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
we have to get to that point where we start waiting for somebody to say something to us, especially as women, because guess what? That could be so mentally damaging.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes not hearing something can be just as damaging as hearing something, because we're waiting.
Yes.
We're waiting, and we're gonna be waiting till the cows come home, baby. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself.
Yes.
We have to get to the point we do these things for ourselves, and I'm telling you, this time of just working on me, Brother Leon, has helped me to realize that, like I said, don't mean selfish. That means you're working on yourself.
Yes.
You know what you need to do is just there for you.
Yes.
And I can tell you that the best thing I have done was doing such. Recognizing and acknowledging something that I've done for myself. It takes a lot of work to work on yourself. We're so quick, because I'm going to tell you, because like I told you, I am so hands-on. I am that person. I want to fix everything. I want to fix everybody. But God reminded me, that ain't your job.
Oh, yeah.
Fix you.
Yeah.
You got to fix you.
Yeah.
So what I came out of that, and being able to recognize that, hey, it ain't your problem to fit so-and-so. You gotta fix you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we get in our head and be like, well, why didn't that relationship work? What could have, should have, and all that stuff comes up. You know what I'm saying? And God reminded me that wasn't for you to worry about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to worry about you. Now you take these lessons and you apply it to your life. What can you do? what can you do to work on you in this moment?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, these past 3 years of my singlehood, because I'm a lover. I ain't gonna lie to you. I have such a big heart. I love so hard. And so, and I thank God that I didn't rush into another relationship because and that He allowed me this time to really sit back and reflect and work on me. Self-reflection, self-evaluation. I cannot preach that enough. Self-awareness, getting to know yourself is so important. And even knowing yourself, and I'm also saying this being that, I'm into the health fitness, even knowing yourself physically, knowing your body, that is so huge. You know what I'm saying? I saved myself a lot of money from going to doctors, which something has been triggered because one thing I do, Brother Leon, is I track what I eat. I write down what I eat. I write down if I've been triggered by food or whatever. So even writing down and knowing things, my triggers, has really helped me to do what I call an elimination diet, to recognize when there's something that has offset my balance, offset my body. But even more recently, like I was just going through a moment, okay, something ain't right, and I had to take a step back and self-evaluate. I'm like, you know your body. Think about what you have eaten, something that you've eaten is not agreeing with your body. And you know what? So that's when I say it, total well-being encompasses everything, mind, body, and spirit. You got to take time to learn yourself. Look, you are the only person living in that body.
Yeah.
Nobody else living in that body but you.
Yeah.
Nobody else is living in that mind but you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get to know yourself. I can't preach that enough. And I'm telling you, sometimes getting to know yourself, you're gonna hit a point where you might even like yourself. It's something about you. You're like, oh dang, really? But that's all about that self-awareness. So what do I do now about that situation I didn't like about myself? I got to turn it around into something positive, make it better. Because, we all have opportunities to do better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
To make better choices, to improve. There's always room for improvement within ourselves. And once I start to realize that, I realize that, baby girl, you got to work on you because you can't do it. You can't do this for nobody else but you. And I have to tell you what a difference it has made in my life. I began to deal with situations so much differently. Like I said, even things that happen out in the world, society. I deal with so different now, Brother Leon, because I've gotten to know myself and know who I am, and most of all, know who I am in God.
Yeah,
that's so important.
Yeah.
So important.
Definitely. You were hitting about foods. So let me ask you this: how can a person, break that sugar and carb addiction? Because it's like, I don't know what they putting in. It seems like, man, you get a piece of chocolate
It's crack, but Leon, it's crack. My lady's laughing when I said it, but it is so true because it's so addictive.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is, and I have to tell for me, it's just having to realize that I call it balance. I tell my women, you live a life of balance. I'm not going to take anything away from you, but I'm going to tell you, health and fitness, the nutrition part and the exercise part, it goes hand in hand. It's a marriage. So, and that's what I say to my women. So you gotta recognize when you are eating something that that may be a trigger to you, and you're doing all this hard work. You know what I'm saying? Is it worth you putting that donut into your mouth every 5 days a week? You know what I'm saying? 5 days a week, and then you in the gym trying to work that out. Come on, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna tell you not to have a donut, but think about eat things in moderation. You know what I'm saying? So, and even for myself, I'm not, and I go through phases. I go through phases because I know, like I said, being a bodybuilder, I'm disciplined. When I'm in training mode, I'm on a meal prep, I'm on a plan, I'm going to be strictly on that plan. Now, the past, and I'm going to be honest, because I'm so real with people, because I was in training and in prep to do a show in April. Of course, COVID happened. So my coach and I had me in prep mode ever since January. So from January to April, pretty much into May, I was in that mindset that I was going to do a show. Then I had to have a self-talk. Self-talk is so big. You know what I'm saying? So big to me. I had a self-talk. Look at girl. You're not going to compete. I'm not going to compete this year. And it's okay because I love bodybuilding. I love to do competitions. And I was so ready, Leon, to do until this year. But I had to have a self-talk and say, hey, it is okay if you don't compete this year. Okay, it is fine.
Yeah.
But because I had gone through throughout the beginning of the year, I had leaned out, and I was, my body was at that point. We call it peak. Your body was ready to peak for me to be ready to hit a show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I knew we can't sustain that lifestyle forever. You have to put some weight back on. You can't keep yourself lean like that. You know what I'm saying? When you're like at 5% body fat, you have to put some weight back on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. So I allowed myself 2 months, June and July, where I allowed myself to what I call eat in a calorie surplus. Where I was eating more than I typically eat and eat things I typically don't eat. So I follow a vegan lifestyle. So I don't eat meat. I don't do dairy. And I tried most to be gluten free.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Leon, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I had some vegan ice cream on my
yes.
during that time period. But I had to do it in moderation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have that vegan ice cream Sunday through Saturday. I had to chunk that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So doing things in moderation. Now, right now, just come to my house. You won't find that vegan ice cream because I promise, not because I'm getting myself back on track. Like I allow myself a 2-month period to kind of eat off what I call be off the grid for a minute.
Yeah.
Eat off my schedule. But whether I'm preparing for a show or not, because I preach and live by that health and fitness lifestyle, I have to apply that to my life. You know what I'm saying? I can't be out there having my girls, you know what I'm saying, or even on my Instagram, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I can't be one way there and then behind closed doors do a different lifestyle. That's not who I am. I gotta be real and upfront, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, like I said, I allow myself those 2 months of what I call, my cheat moments and have my cheat moments in moderation. And now here I am back. Here we are in August because I call August my reset month.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am reset that I don't purchase those things. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that what I call the junk. You know what I'm saying? In my house.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not here, then I'm not gonna eat it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So so it's not here. It's not visible. It's not in sight. So I don't crave it because it's not here. You know what I'm saying? So my method of doing things might not work for everybody else, but you have to know yourself. Once again, going back to knowing yourself. So I know what I can and cannot do. I know that I allow myself 2 months of having some cheat days and cheat weeks or whatever, but I know I got to get back on track. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to cut myself off like that because I trust myself. I know myself to do that. But I tell my women, I'm not going to deprive you for whatever it is, but I do want you to be honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you had that donut on Monday, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's not do another on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and be honest with yourself. And I actually have women who appreciate that,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually get to the point where they say, well, you know what? I got to the point I don't crave the sweets anymore because once you start to eliminate, and I call it elimination, when you start to eliminate certain things in your life,
Yeah.
then you get to the point your body doesn't crave for that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So are doing things in moderation. Because life is about balance, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I have my women, they're so funny. They'll jump somewhere. Well, I went to a party, I went to a birthday party and had a slice of cake. I'm like, good, I hope you enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just like, you had a slice of cake. That is okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're not going to eat that slice of cake every single day because we're going to be purpose of what we're working on right now in that moment.
Yeah.
You know? So it's about balance, Brother Leon. I don't want women to deprive themselves. I even tell my women when I'm in training mode for a show, I eat differently than I would do like right now in my off season. I create balance for myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what life is all about. It's all about balance. And so, that's what I want my women to realize too. That life is about balance. I don't ever want my women to feel like they got to deprive themselves of something. But I do want them to recognize that the nutrition piece of eating and also the exercise and stuff, it all goes hand in hand. So what you put into your body is just a support to what you do to your body.
Wow.
And especially as us as women, there are a lot of, and I'll kind of touch on this a bit too, there are a lot of things that we do eat that are triggers. So I have a lot of women, they see my abs, and how do you get your abs? And I don't even lie to you, abs, when I say abs are made in the kitchen, they are, because a lot of what you put in your body does help form your abs. It makes a big difference, and as far as women too, I think I think about our ab section. That's the childbearing area right there too.
Mm-hmm.
So we're prone to carry weight in that area.
Yeah.
And so so what you put in that, when you put in your mouth, does have a lot to do with women trying to slim and trim that waistline and trying to flatten those abs a bit. Trying to make those abs pop. It makes a big difference. And the exercise, of course, that goes along with it. But what you put into your body is really huge when it comes to overall development. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to lose weight or put on muscles, food is so important.
Yeah.
It is so significant. Even carbs. I have women that, you know what I'm saying, talking about carbs. I'm like, carbs can be your friend. It's what carbs you choose. We need carbs, you know. Our body wants to use carbs as our energy source. And so I tell my women, eat carbs. It is okay because we don't use those carbs when we train, you know. And so it's just being able to educate, like I like to educate women on when it comes to nutrition, because oftentimes women look at fad diets. We look at stuff like keto. We look at we look at what's the latest trend when it comes to nutrition. And it's not a one-size-fits-all, Brother Leon. People got, like I said, once again, get to know your body, know your food tolerances too. That's a big thing, and that's what I was kind of headed to when I'm talking about, women. Women have a lot of food intolerances. So, for me, dairy, I cannot do dairy. My body doesn't like dairy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I feel for you. No, the reason why I'm saying, I'm like, man, what about macaroni and cheese?
And you know what? And that was so hard. That was so hard. Certain stuff, so hard for me, especially growing up in the South. Growing up in Georgia, you know what I'm saying? My mom made the meanest macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna tell you, people will pay my mama to make macaroni and cheese. That's just how good her macaroni is. But when I go home, Brother Leo, I can't have that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my body just cannot digest and process that food anymore.
Wow.
And I grew up on it, you know. But also, it took me to, once again, I said, to do elimination diet to figure out what my food triggers were. You know what I'm saying? You know, dairy being one of them. You know, I love cheese, but you know what I'm saying? Now, you know, thank God there are a lot of substitutes out there. So there are vegan cheese, there's cashew cheese, there's different plant-based foods that I'm able to incorporate and eat. Well, I don't feel like I'm depriving myself or missing out on foods that I actually love. You know, and I tell women, you know, my lifestyle of way I eat is going to be different than yours. I don't push my vegan lifestyle on my women. I ask them and my first question I ask my women whenever they seek me for increase is, what's your nutrition like? How do you eat on a given day? You know, sometimes some women don't eat enough food, and a lot of times people want to skip meals. We can't skip meals either. Our body needs the calories. Calories are your energy sources. So, you know, I talk about about not skipping meals. You know what I'm saying? Before you come train with me, I want you to eat because we're going to burn that off, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's so much I can go into when it comes to nutrition that I know, even for me, that I did so wrong for so many years because we're trying to get that certain look, and all we were doing is just really damaging our bodies.
Yeah.
So, you know, the thing about it is you really have to educate people on when it comes to nutrition, as well when it comes to the exercise piece of it too, when you're talking about a health and fitness lifestyle.
Wow. 3 things I want to ask you.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you your thoughts on, here's the 3 things I want to ask your thoughts on. The Impossible Whopper, wine, and beer. Can I mean, if you're training and stuff like that, a person, I just had an Impossible Whopper. It's not beef. And can they drink wine and beer during training?
I'm asking this for me.
Okay.
For me, no. Number 1, I don't eat fast food.
Okay.
Number 2, when I'm on prep, I don't do alcohol.
Okay.
I'm really not an alcohol drinker, even right now. Even though I'm not on prep, Brother Leon, I don't drink alcohol. You know, if I'm out with a group of friends and we're at dinner, I might do a glass of wine. I try to stick to red wine at most. Or I may do a cocktail that, you know, has like a clear cocktail, like a vodka tonic, something like that. You know, something with less calories in there. Like I said, I'm not really a big drinker. So, but when you are on prep, and you know, when you're on prep, let me say this, when we're on prep, sometimes we call it a refeed. We need a refeed, so you can. Some people actually would go get an Impossible Whopper, or they may get a Big Mac, and they may get 2 or 3 of those in a large fry. It's a refeed that we put back into our bodies. But for me personally, I'm not a fast food person, so I don't do fast food. However, So if I want to do something fast food, and if I'm doing like a refeed, I would do like one of those vegan burgers, and I would do fries as part of like my refeed, or I would do pizza. Pizza's kind of like my go-to, a vegan pizza, and I would get a brother Leon, I'll get a whole vegan pizza and eat that thing by myself. And that would be my cheap refeed right there. So in our process, what we do when we are prepped, oftentimes our coaches say, all right, this is your day to do you can carb up, you know what I'm saying? So you eat whatever you want to. Or I go to a nice restaurant, not to have a glass of wine. I will have the bread, you know what I'm saying? I will have something. I will have that big meal as my cheat meal, so to speak. But typically on prep, the alcohol I do not do whatsoever. I completely eliminate alcohol on my prep. My main source of liquids is definitely water, that gallon of water.
Yeah.
I do coffee, but I keep my coffee black, so I'm able to do coffee on my prep and tea. So like a green tea, and that's with no additives in there. I would do green tea. My green tea, and a lot of people can't do green tea without adding sugar and stuff to it. I don't. So what I do is I will add like lemon, mint, lime, something like that, just to give a little, even ginger. I will add just to give a little flavor to it. But I don't add anything to my teas, and I don't add anything to my coffee. I drink my coffee straight up black.
Okay.
And then even my water, I will infuse my water with like lemon and lime and mint. But you know, we just got to figure out, you know, for people, you got to figure out how can you, if you're trying to go that route of eliminating things. I always tell my women, do one thing at a time. Don't go cold turkey. It's hard to go cold turkey all the time. You know, just completely just stop doing something. Just try one thing at a time. I have some women who are big Coke drinkers. You know what I'm saying? And we know Coke is full of sugar. So you know what I'm saying? Try to eliminate. Try to just reduce it down. If you drink like 3 or 4 Cokes a day, try to just break it down to where you just do one. You know what I'm saying? So things like that is what I help educate women, instead of just removing everything altogether. Like I said, I've trained myself where I can do that. You know what I'm saying? But you can't expect just the average person who's just trying to get into health and fitness to just go cold turkey and drop everything all at once. It has to be gradual. I always say start small and build. And that's what we do, because eventually what happens is, and I have women now that I've been working with, like, they're hit like their 6-week point, and they're like, you know, I'm at the point where I don't even want so-and-so anymore. My body doesn't crave that. Because eventually that's what happens. Your body doesn't crave for that thing. You know what I'm saying? You start to replace it with something else. So it doesn't crave for that Coke anymore, you know? So it's all about reprogramming and training yourself on how to make healthier choices. Without just going cold turkey and stopping everything all at once. Because what happens is when you go cold turkey, you eventually go back to doing those. You go back to that unhealthy lifestyle, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's better to do things and just chunk it and do smaller things first, and then let that build up.
Wow. Let me ask you this, Coach. Is it possible that we can take fitness and bring it into the church and everything? Because I feel as though that if we started really ministering to people and start talking to them about health, and maybe even, you know, depending on the size of your church, you know, have a gym in the church, and also, you know, start having times where we actually do physical exercise. Do you feel as though that can help people in their journey of faith, but also keep people, you know, off of the altar, always coming up, you know, asking for prayer because of health or because of physical ailments?
I completely agree with you. You know what? I know I like to say this. Our bodies are a temple. Our bodies are temples. So we definitely can incorporate health and fitness and faith all together. You know what I'm saying? And I think having that platform, because you know what I'm saying, the church is kind of the foundation to go to for a lot of people, where they get that word, and that word is solid to them. You know, that really good solid word. So why not bring health and fitness into into the church? Because you know what, like I said, our bodies are temple, and God wants us to take care of this. Like I said, the only thing that you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life is going to be your body. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So we have to find ways, even if it's just taking this word into the church, getting people to recognize that, you know what I'm saying, it is so important to really invest into yourself. I call it an investment. The greatest fitness groups that meet up. Women or a group of people may meet up and they may work out, or they may go meet up and go for a walk. There are some churches that actually have moved towards that route. As a matter of fact, I'm actually blessed to actually train. I train a pastor of mine, and I love her. She pastors a church here, and I have to say she is actually one of my I guess I can say one of my biggest inspiration as far as combining faith and fitness, because she's not only preaches the word, but she lives the word, but she also sees the difference of what fitness has done in her life. She speaks about it all the time. Her, even going to a doctor's appointment, and getting a report from her doctor, and the doctor said, "What are you doing differently?" It's because she's really starting to incorporate health and fitness in her lifestyle, and working and being able to work with me as her trainer, her coach. I'm so blessed to be able to have somebody that is.
Hello, Coach. You still there? Hold on, guys. We got to see what's going on with Coach. We just lost her right fast. All right, guys, we lost Coach, but we got her back. So, Coach, I just want to ask you, how can women, because the one thing that I've seen a lot of women, they have been dealing with fibroids. So is there any type of way that exercise and diet can keep women from getting hysterectomies? Because it's always seemed like when it comes to the Black community, that's always the go-to, the hysterectomy.
And just going back to what we talked about before, health and fitness is definitely I want to say it's a cure-all for everything, but it does help whenever you do incorporate a life of health and fitness. Whenever you're going through some physical challenges, of course, I want to always say, consult with your physician before you actually do anything. But health and fitness it can be healing for a lot of women where they don't have to go through any type of surgical procedure. So I hear a lot of women who said they've had certain issues, and once they really made a lifestyle of health and fitness, and that's incorporating nutrition and the exercise, and it really helped to get rid of whatever they were going through. It helped to heal their situation where they didn't have to have surgery. It made a big difference. I've had some of my own women who've gone to their doctors, and the doctor's like, "Oh, what are you doing differently?" Their health report has coming back positive. And their physician is noticing too. So, basically it's because they made it a lifestyle change. And so, like I said, because, I don't always want to be the one to say, "Oh, yeah, that's going to cure the situation." I'm going to say, if somebody's going through, especially a woman going through some female problems, definitely consult with your physician. However, just knowing that a lifestyle of health and fitness can help eliminate and get rid of some of the issues that we as women face.
Wow. Thank you for that, Coach.
You're still welcome.
Let me ask you this, because this is what I see. Is there a difference between organic and vegan? Because it seemed like, man, the grocery stores and everything, it's almost like, man, they set you up. It's like, okay, organic versus vegan. What's the difference? Can you navigate us through that?
Well, the organic stuff would be that it's not processed. It's more of a natural way of producing whatever we're eating. So, and if you speak of, when we talk about, because there are certain things that are organic that are not so much vegan, you know what I'm saying, and then vice versa. So vegan basically means that it's not made of animal products. So for me, my lifestyle of the way I eat a vegan lifestyle where I don't eat animal products, I don't do dairy. So there are some similarities in some of the products that can be vegan and organic. But there are also some products that are vegan that are not organic.
Okay.
That makes sense. So organic is more of the process, and then being vegan is more of just the fact that it's not being processed by using animal products.
Okay. So, hey, Coach, let me ask you this. I mean, we're gonna be looking at the holidays real soon.
Yeah.
I mean, some people Lord, how am I going to do this around Thanksgiving? How am I going to do this around Christmas?
Well, you know what? I always, like I tell my women, don't deprive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're leading up into the holidays, you know what I'm saying? You want to create some balance for you, because if you already know you're going to chow down on Thanksgiving and chow down on Christmas, and then, you know what I'm saying, so those days leading up to that, you know what I'm saying, kind of back off a bit. Don't be eating cranberries and what dressing and turkey, you know what I'm saying, Monday through Wednesday, and then Thanksgiving comes, you doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So everything in moderation. If you want to have that cheat down at Thanksgiving, go ahead and have it. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to those days where you really want to just chow down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of create some balance for yourself. You know, I tell them I'm not going to deprive you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But just be smart about the way you eat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes, you know, we want to go back for 3 or 4 servings. Might cut it down. Cut it down to 2 servings. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we know we're going to have the pies, we're going to have the cakes, and the dessert. Choose one dessert that you really want and then have that. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to eat everything, because you know what? Especially if you have been really working hard up until that point,
mm-hmm.
you're gonna see your body to shock.
Yeah.
Try to put all that food into you. But balance it out, spread it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even if we know Thanksgiving's always on a Thursday, so you know you may have that cheat meal on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? And you may even have another one that Friday or Saturday. You know, so what? So let it be. But you got to make sure you get yourself back on track. You know what I'm saying? What
mm-hmm.
that next week comes. And not allow the food, the leftovers. This is when we get in trouble. We start allowing the leftovers to sit and linger.
Yeah.
Nah, send that stuff home to somebody else.
Oh, man. Coach, we can't take no plates.
Look. Don't be trying to take 10 plates home. You know what I'm saying? You eat what you can right then and there. Don't be trying to take all those plates home with you. Mm-hmm. You know what? You're going to be eating all that stuff, you know, until it's all gone.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Just create some balance for yourself. do things in moderation.
Uh-huh.
Have that cheat meal. Have that cheat moment on Thanksgiving. It's okay. Indulge for that moment and get yourself back on track.
Wow.
And for me, when I actually do go home, you know what I'm saying? It depends if I'm in prep. It's been times, actually, Brother Leon, as a matter of fact, when I was training for my half marathon. My half marathon happened to fall the same weekend as Thanksgiving. So guess what? I wasn't eating like that for Thanksgiving because I had a half marathon to run in a couple of days. So,
yeah.
You know, it's just it comes along with the discipline too. So some of us, and there are some people that I know that are in prep for shows. We actually, as far as the bodybuilding organization goes, we actually have shows all the way up until December. But there's some people that are in prep during Thanksgiving in December. It's all part of the discipline. So, you know, if you're on prep, guess what? You can't have that stuff.
Yeah.
So we just have to learn how to discipline ourselves when it comes to that time. And when we are around family, because like I said, for me, going home to Georgia, you know what I'm saying? I know it's going to be a spread on the table. Every house I go to, there's going to be a spread. So it's just having to be able to once again, be disciplined. Even at the meal prep yourself and take your own meals, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh my God. Well, hey, Coach, let me ask you this: What if they offer you cornbread?
Look, I'm about to say look. When my George asked it so look good, but I can't have it right now. But my family, I have to tell you, I love my family. They are so supportive when I come home. They be like, Dena come home, so she can't have this, she can't have that. They do try to accommodate me, and like I said, even having to accommodate for myself. Sometimes I will meal prep and take it with me because when I'm on meal prep, I'm eating specific things, so I try to prep that in advance when I'm traveling.
Yeah.
It's just being able to know what you have going on in that moment, and preparation is key, and being prepared for, you know, your traveling. or even when I get there, I'll go by the store and grab some things that I know I can have and then eat that while I'm there. So, yeah.
Okay. So, hey, Coach, let me ask you that. I'm now meddling. Do you got your own set of collards or kale? It's like these are ones that ain't got no meat in them.
You know what? I love kale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kale is probably my number one go.
Okay.
Collards. I don't really do collards.
Okay.
But kale is I do kale a lot. Pretty much, I do kale almost every day.
Okay.
With my meals. So kale, I do spinach too, but kale is my biggest go-to. And the funny thing is about it, because growing up in the South, everything has flavor to it, and so I do season it. I'll throw some parsley, and I'll throw some garlic. So I'll throw some stuff on it and give it a taste to it. You know what I'm saying? Just you got once again. Oh, I trick my mind every now and then. You know what I'm saying? And even as far as I saute it, throwing some mushrooms in there. So what I'm saying? I look it up so it tastes good.
Okay.
So it doesn't have that bitter taste to it. So it's just all all how you prepare it and cook it. So yeah, but I even sometimes, Brother Leon, I actually throw it in the toaster oven too. To give a good little crisp taste to it. So yeah, I'll look it up.
Okay. So let me ask you this: for people that might be training, it'd be like, I'm gonna have a bushel of crabs. So can you talk to us about eating, training and eating, crabs and shrimp?
As a matter of fact, for a long time before I actually went to vegan lifestyle, I was pescatarian, which means I ate seafood. Because there are some health benefits to eating seafood. That you can find some, especially like salmon. Your lean protein. Yeah. So I honestly don't really not eating seafood. It was just more of a choice for me. When I decided to come off meat altogether.
Okay.
And the seafood was actually the last thing that I gave up. Now, being in Florida, I'm like, wow, I'm really giving up seafood. But, I'm that person, once I make my mind up and I set my mind to do something, I do it and I go all out with it. And so, and once again, there's not a lot of calories and fat and carbs and stuff like, and crab legs, you know what I'm saying? Seafood is probably one of the most leanest products that you can eat as far as meat goes. So, really and truly, like I said, somebody want to indulge in that little crabs, in that bucket of crabs. Hey, however,
yes.
Don't douse it in butter. You know what
I'm
saying?
man.
You can throw some seasoning on it, but don't be dousing in butter. That's when you get in trouble. You start adding butter and all that stuff to it. But you throw some seafood seasoning on that. You'll be fine with that. Oh,
okay. All right, cool. So hey, Coach, you got an event coming up called the Silverbacks. Can you tell us about that event?
Yeah, so Silverback is actually a brand. One of my good friends in Georgia, he actually a brand that it's a new brand that they came out with. So clothing line and actually had posted probably back in May one of their shirts, and so he knows how much I'm into health and fitness. And right now, as a matter of fact, a lot of the NFL football players are actually, if you go on their page, you'll see a lot of the NFL football players actually sporting Silverback's brand. Silverback and I decided, hey, let's just take this thing to another level. Because, as many people see my motivational videos, and always promoting health and fitness. And we decided, let's just take this thing on the road. And so the first stop, he let me choose my first stop, which is, Miami. So shout out to my boy, Eddie Strange, for giving me this opportunity to partner up with Silverback brand. And we call it a motivational movement because we know everything that I do is motivational, especially with the health and fitness. And Silverback stands for the exact same thing. So we're all about promoting health and wellness and fitness. And we decided to collaborate and take this to another level. So first stop is Miami. We're also looking into, because Georgia is home, to take this to Georgia this year too. So it's just another great opportunity for us to spread, health and fitness, and to get people involved And like I said, and making a motivational movement is what we call it. I love to my Saturday boot camp here. I call it Sweat It Out Saturdays. So it's just another opportunity to bring people together to sweat it out, and have fun with it too. My boot camps are fun. I make my ladies laugh. And we have a good time. I don't want it to be like, it's just another one of those workout moments. No, we're going to come together. We're going to have fun together, You're going to be encouraged. You're going to be empowered. I have women who've not worked out in years that come to my boot camp, and they're like, wow, I love this. I had so much fun. Because they're going to get that love and that support and structure, not just from me, but everybody who's there. A group of all women that I train, they attend my boot camp, and so I have my girls there with me, and I split them off into groups, and so they have someone that's part of the BBD crew that's going to be in their group and that's going to support them and encourage them. So that's what we're all about: empowerment and encouragement.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's that.
So yeah, so I'm excited. We're hitting the road on Saturday.
Okay.
Well, Friday, but Saturday is going to be the event.
Okay.
And Miami Beach, Florida. So if anybody in the area, hit me up. It's open. This one is open. So usually my boot camp here is for women, but the one in Miami, it is open. Men, women, it doesn't matter. We just want people to come and have a good time.
Wow, I know that's going to be great. So Coach, let me can you tell us, how can we start following you? How can people start following you and also get in contact with you for coaching, and also the boot camp and the thing that you do by Zoom and Skype?
Okay, so Body By Dena at Outlook.com is my email. Body By Dena 40 IG, and then Body By Dena 40 at Facebook. Those are my main points of contact. I'm in the process of working on Body By Dena website right now. So that'll be up and coming soon. But right now, those three main ones, my Body By Dena at IG and Body By Dena 40 at Facebook. And then email, bodybydena at Outlook.com. Like I said, I have 3 devices, so there are multiple ways to reach me.
Okay.
I keep them all on me, Brother Leon, and I do get a lot of inquiries. So, and I do make it a point to try to respond to people within a 24-hour time period, because once again, I am training a lot, and locally I'm training about 4 or 5 women throughout the day. So in between my training sessions, I have my emails and everything, even if I just have my phone with me, everything is set up and sent to my phone, so it pops up, and then it'll show me if someone has contacted me and sent me something. So, yeah.
Wow.
And locally, we do the boot camp here locally, because I'm in the Space Coast area, Melbourne, Florida. And so, women, and this is a big county, Brother Leon, so I have women that come all over within this county that comes to boot camp. So if anybody in that area, they can hit me up. Orlando area. Orlando is not far from where I live.
Okay.
So yeah, and like I said, and eventually we will start taking Body By Dena boot camp along with Silverback Band on the road. First stop will be Miami, coming up this Saturday, the 29th, and then the next stop will be Georgia. We're working on a date for that, and then we're going to be working on other locations as well. Oh man, that's great. So let me ask you this, Coach: do you have any products or anything that you want to promote? Anything that you're selling right now? I'm actually working on. So I have a couple of T-shirts that we've been working around with my logo. My logo is on my profile, so that's my Body By Dena logo. So we're working on that. And I actually have gotten coffee mugs made. I actually got some playing cards made. As a matter of fact, my girls got a chance to work with the playing cards yesterday for boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of things that I'm working on right now. They're just kind of trial basis at the moment.
Okay.
But eventually, Brother Leon, I'm going to come out. I'm working with a couple of other stuff right now and a couple of ideas for Body By Dena product. So the T-shirts will be the first thing that I probably have more of a mass abundance. I have somebody working on that for me right now. So that's going to be the first thing. And then, like I said, I have some other items that I am working on right now. Okay.
All right, man. Coach, I ain't gonna lie. I see you like the Phoenix. You just rising. I'm serious. I see that. And the thing that I also see is that, you're prophetic in nature. You pick up on people. God is giving you an awareness. And so I just want to say thank you for saying yes to God. Even though, your journey may have been hard, I want to say thank you for saying yes, because your faith, the love from your family, the prayers from the women that have been around you, those have been the things that have carried you. And I just want to acknowledge that and say thank you for
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it so much. To God be the glory, Brother Leon. And
Yes.
I want to thank you for this opportunity, for reaching out to me. I always tell God, in any way that I can deliver his message and be a vessel, use me. Use me, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank you for providing this opportunity to do so.
No problem. I definitely want to get you back, and that's the God knows truth. But I want to just ask you one thing. Can you just give us some words of wisdom and encouragement?
Absolutely. My go-to, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I want everybody else to realize so can you. You know what? As I said, when I'm working out, those words come to me. When I'm hitting a peak moment of trying to get that last rep in, I remind myself, you can do all things through Christ. I want anybody listening to this message to know that you can do the same thing. Trust in God. Believe in Him. Believe in yourself. And believe me, anything is possible. With God, all things are possible. So just got to hold on to that. Stay strong in your faith. You know what I'm saying? Trust in God. Trust in yourself. And believe me, that you can do all things through Him, because He is your strength.
Amen. Coach, I just want to say thank you, and I give glory and honor to God. I thank God. Yeah, I give glory and honor to God, because I see, that God is really healing our community. He's doing a work in our women. We've been dealing with this whole thing about church hurt and emotional health for a while now, and so I just want to say thank you for being a part of that, because you're actually helping people overcome by the words of your testimony.
I appreciate that, and that's exactly what it's all about.
Yes.
That's what it's all about, Brother Leon.
All right, Coach. You have a blessed day, okay?
You do too. Thank you again.
All right. Be blessed.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Well, guys, that was Coach Dena, Body by Dena. So you guys, I want you to support her. Hey, if you guys live in Florida, she is the lady. She is the go-to. I'm telling you right now. She is definitely the go-to. So I want you guys to listen to this, listen to the whole interview, see where she has come from, listen to the wisdom and the things that she is saying, how she preps, things that she does even in her eating. And, it was a little humorous today, but the one thing I want you guys to also know is this, is that God is more than able to deliver. He is more than able to heal, because I want you to see this. Every divine appointment requires your body. And your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So, the thing is that when you start looking at self-worth and looking into self, it's not you being vain. It's the fact that you're willing to get to a place where you see the beauty that God has placed on the inside of you. And so I thank God for this phenomenal woman of faith, this phenomenal woman in God. So with that being said, guys, you have a blessed day.
Walk in the truth that makes you free every day. Follow Brother Leon on all social media outlets.